Lights, camera, action! Welcome to Binge Bob, your ultimate destination for adventure. Today, I'm excited to explain the latest drama, The Typical Family. Let's jump right into the beginning of episode 1. We see a woman named Manam, who used to have the ability to see the future, yet she lost her ability due to a problem called insomnia. Kai. Her whole family has different powers. Her daughter Dongi can fly but doesn't do it because she is overweight. Her son, Gwizar, is the main character of the story and has the ability to go back to the past. Unfortunately, Gwizar suffers from severe depression. He has become addicted to drugs, which has caused him to lose his power. Gwizar's father, Sungu, asks him to stop drinking, but it doesn't help. Gwizar's daughter, Aina, has power too, but she only uses it on her phone and doesn't do anything productive. Manam feels that their family is falling apart and says they need to regain their lost powers. She suggests that if they can't, they might as well drown in the sea. In a moment of despair, she starts running towards the sea to end her life, but as she looks down at the sea, she sees some girls playing and stops. Manam then says they shouldn't give up on their future. They realize that Gwizar is missing. They think he might have gone into the past, but he has actually fallen into shallow water and is drowning. He remembers a moment from his past when he was on the same beach with a girl. A girl named Dai is the female lead. She rescues him and gives him CPR. This wakes him up. Gwizar starts seeing the same girl from his past and calls her Zion, claiming she is his wife. Gwizar becomes unconscious and attempts to explain the situation. Gwizar says, "It wasn't on purpose. It was just an accident." Manam suggests they should have gotten the contact number of the girl who saved Gwizar. Meanwhile, at a spa, some workers are discussing how a particular lady will be coming in for a treatment. But they don't want to serve her because they heard she hasn't slept. The boss asks if anyone is willing to do it, and Dai, who also works there, volunteers. When the lady arrives, Dai gives her a good massage and some tea, which helps her fall asleep. The lady turns out to be Manam. After the spa treatment, Manam asks for the name of the girl who gave her the massage. Dai introduces herself, and Manam recognizes her as the girl who saved her son. Manam offers Dai money, but Dai refuses, saying she just wants to give Manam a massage. Manam agrees, and Dai goes to Manam's house for the massage. All the expensive things in the house surprise Dai. Meanwhile, he is in his messy room, with bottles of alcohol everywhere. He finds a note outside his room. It says not to come out because a guest is coming, but he ignores it and leaves the room. Dai is in the kitchen making tea when Gwizar comes in, about to open a bottle of alcohol. Dai asks what he's doing and if he needs help, but Gwizar tries to leave without saying anything. Dai tells him not to leave the bottle like that. Then she deliberately knocks it over, telling him to pay attention. She then says she'll clean it up. Manam says, "What happened? The girl who saved your life, you didn't even say hello properly. Don't worry, my mom will reward you." Gwizar leaves after this. Dai makes tea for Manam and adds something to it. She feels like someone is behind her at one point, but there's no one there. Dai massages Manam and gives her the tea. Manam compliments her, saying she's a good girl and that her family must be proud of her. Dai responds that she doesn't have a family and is all alone. She explains that her first husband cheated on her, and her second husband used to beat her, so she left him. Hearing this, Manam says that her son Gwizar has been sad since Gwizar's wife died in a car accident. She also says that Gwizar has become very lonely. Later, Sungu comes to the house and asks Manam where Dai is because he's brought something for her. Manam says it's already past 2 o'clock and Dai has to go back to the spa for some work. Then we see Dai and her mom, Il Hong, comes to the sauna. Dai asks Il Hong to cook food for her, but Il Hong says she's working and tells Dai to cook for herself. Dai tries to cook, but she is scared to turn on the gas because of her fear of fire. Next, we see Manam listening to Dai. Sunu notices that Manam has fallen asleep. Manam wakes up from a dream and tells Sunu, "It's been a long time since I slept so well. How did this happen?" She thinks it might be because of Dai, and tells Sunu about her dream where Dai was wearing their family ring. Manam believes that Dai could be the savior of their family and help them get their powers back. She suggests they should invite Dai over. A girl comes to Gwizer's gym and gives him some documents. Gwizer tells her she can come back tomorrow. Then Dongi arrives and tells the girl she needs to check her documents. The girl asks, "Who are you?" Dongi replies, "I am the owner of this building, or you can say I'll be the owner soon." The girl hands over her documents and jokes that she might have seen Dongi on a YouTube channel. Later, Dongi goes to a restaurant, but her card doesn't work, so she uses the money Gwizer gave her. She then gets a call from her mom saying a guest is coming over. We then see Manam and Sunu preparing something. Gwizer arrives and asks what they're doing. Sunu explains that it's Aina's birthday, so they're making preparations. Dongi comes in and tries to talk to Manam about a savior, but Manam silences her. Dai arrives and greets everyone. Dongi thanks Dai for saving her younger brother, and she asks if she's going to marry him. Soon, Gu hushes Dongi, and then everyone sits down to eat together. Dai asks Manam, "Are you doing all this because you want to set up a relationship between me and Gwizer?" Gwizer responds, "But before we go any further, you should know everything about me. I was previously married, and I have a daughter. You and my daughter can't get close, nor can you try to discipline me." Dai asks Dongi, "Don't you want to eat?" Dongi replies, "I am on a diet. I wish I could like before." Dai asks, "Was she a flight attendant before?" Dongi laughs and says, "Can you bring me some water?" Dai agrees and goes to get water for her. Meanwhile, soon Gu will come down to light the candles for Aina. Manam says, "You shouldn't have behaved like this outside." Gwizer replies, "Today is my daughter Aina's birthday. How can you invite another woman here? Didn't you think about Aina at all?" Manam responds, "You didn't think about Aina either. That's why you were about to commit suicide." Gwizer protests, "It's not like that. It was just an accident." Manam counters, "All of this is happening because of you. If you hadn't married Zion, he wouldn't have died. I told you I had seen Zion's death in the future, but you didn't listen to me. If I could change the future myself, I would, but you couldn't do anything about it." After this, Aina comes down, blows out the candles, and goes back to her room. She walks. Gwizer went outside and it's raining. Dongi asks Sungu to cover the food because she's worried it might spoil due to the rain. Then Manan also comes out, but something happens to her and she becomes unconscious. Everyone starts taking care of Manan. Dai also arrives and asks what happened. Sungu explains that Manan might be unconscious due to lack of sleep, so they decide to take her to the hospital. Meanwhile, someone asks Dai to turn off the gas left on inside the house, but she becomes nervous when she sees the fire and can't switch off the gas. Aina comes to her rescue and turns it off, for which she thanks Aina. Aina notices Dai mixing something in the tea and asks what she's adding. Dai clarifies that it's a sweetener. Then we see Gwizer at his wife's memorial place, where Zion's parents also arrive. When Zion's father sees Gwizer, he leaves. Zion's mother asks Gwizer how he is, and he expresses regret for not bringing Aina there, but Zion's mother reassures him. She mentions that both Gwizer and Aina survived the accident unharmed. Later, Dai is in the kitchen preparing something when Aina arrives. Dai invites Aina to eat, but she declines, wary of what might be in the food. They end up playing games together, and Aina tastes the dish, finding it tasty. Aina then warns Dai not to get involved with her family too much. She shares the family's struggles. These include Manan's lost ability to see the future due to insomnia. Also, Dongi flies less because he has gotten fat. Gwizer's depression has stopped his time travel. Then after some time, Gwizer comes there and looks at Dai. He says, "What are you doing here?" She says, "You want to go to the past, but don't go." I didn't get it, but looking at you, it seems like you are still living in the past. Gwizer asks who told you all this. Dai says Aina told me all this. He tells Dai that his wife died in an accident, and since then, I have been very lonely. Then Dai tells him that you should move ahead in your life for the sake of your daughter, Aina. Then Gwizer says that I couldn't protect my family. I'll be able to protect anyone in the future. Dai says it's not, so I once saw you protecting someone. After that, Dai asks her to wash the utensils, and she comes to her house, and Dai's sister is there. Her name is Grace. She is his elder sister, but pretends to be his younger sister. There is also Dai's uncle, whose name is Young Tai. They are all sitting together and talking, and first, they talk about Di's divorce, how she got rid of both her husbands, and how it's Grace who helped her. The girl whom Di's husband is with is Grace. They did all this on purpose to get evidence to get rid of her. When the second husband threw a bottle at Di, the bottle saved her, but Di herself also hits her head with a bottle. These things led to Di winning the case and being freed from her husband. Then Di tells the family about the Gwizzers, for whom he has superpowers. Earlier, she thought he got money only because of the gym. But Manam can see the future. That's how she first found out about the stocks. And that's why they are all rich. So Grace says we should report them. Hearing this, everyone laughs. So Di says she has to convince Aina. Then Aina will be by her side and she'll be Mary Gwizzer. Then Gwizzer comes to Aina, wishes it's her birthday, and gives her a doll. Then we see a scene from the past. Aina is younger and in the car with her father and her mother Zion. Aina says to her father, "Papa, you will save someone." "Yes, but who will save me?" "Here." Then Gwizzer gives him the doll and says that the doll will save you. And after that, Gwizzer disappears. From there, he goes into the past. Zion starts leaving from there with Aina, but then their car crashes. After some time, Gwizzer comes back into the car, but he sees that Zion is dead. And with that, we wrap up this episode. Until we meet again for the next one, take care and goodbye.